back to the poem. A fool stays awake all night, worrying about everything. He's fatigued when the morning comes, and his problems remain unsolved.
This one hits hard because I've definitely been guilty of this, and it's so true. Like you stay up worrying about something, usually something that seems huge but isn't that huge. But sometimes it is. Like sometimes it's a legitimate worry. But then when you wake up in the morning, the problem is still there, but now you're also tired, and so the likelihood that you're going to make a good decision on how to solve this problem has diminished greatly. So it's just some like practical advice that if you're able to, like when you're going to sleep, just be like, hey, there's nothing I can do about this right now. It is, I like to say it's a future Dan worry. Like nothing I can do about it now. I'll worry about it tomorrow. So yeah, it's good advice. A lot easier said than done.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And I think it's also not to say that you shouldn't be thinking about the future or thinking about what's going on, but there's also a point where you realize this is just going to be overthinking it or over planning or something like that, and then you just got to drop it until such time as you can act on the things that you think you need to improve. I think CEOs the world over, and just general self-help wisdom right now and whatnot is that a great thing to do is to think before you go to bed. Think of the things you need to do the next day, maybe write them down even, then just go to bed. It's done.
It's done.
You've taken inventory, you've thought about it, then when you get up you can look at that list or take inventory or whatever, think of what you need to do that day, then go do it.
For sure. It's kind of like when you've made that list, you've finished your thinking about it. You don't, because it's already set up for tomorrow. You can pick up right where you left off. You don't need to think about it anymore. And you're kind of giving yourself permission to forget about it because it's been dealt with. So that's actually like a very practical way of, following this.
And again, this is in, possibly 1,000-year-old Viking wisdom. So it's got to have something to it. It's really just, don't stress yourself out unnecessarily, right? Like that's the underlying message, right? And I mean, there's no value in thinking, overthinking, and then doing nothing. And then that's your point as well about being too tired to do anything the next day because you stayed up late agonizing over something you can't do anything about right now, right? So it's just good advice overall.
For sure.